Yeah. How the mighty have fallen. I'm used to him popping his with Hot 97 in the background in a big luxurious studio. They threw his ass out like Jazzy Jeff. The nigga's in the car. Boy, put your seatbelt on. Stop playing. Put that seatbelt on. Talking to the iPhone. You see, chat? Everything. They would diss me that I was streaming from a basement in a multi-million-dollar home. Why? They were in New York City in a high-rise building in a big studio that someone else owned. So, chat, there's a big shakedown or shake-up actually at WHQT, okay? Or QHT. Yeah, WQHT. Now, that is colloquially known as Hot 97, if you guys don't know. But Hot 97 is a radio station in New York City. Historically, one of the biggest radio stations. Its signal has been rated to be able to broadcast. I think I could, let's see. Can broadcast to how many people? ChatGPT is going to tell me. How much? Okay, wow, it's not telling me. Let's just look. Strength of WQHT. Really, it reaches the entire tri-state. You get what I'm saying? Let me see. Audience size of WQHT. Let's see if we can find something, right? WQHT hit a record high of 17,000 in per quarter hour. No. Your radio rankings are a little bit, it's hard to kind of like gauge it. Afternoon drive, 20,000. No way. Maybe now. I'm wondering the peak. Okay. Let me see. Peak radio audience for Hot 97. Let's see if we can find that in last 20 years. Okay. Give us something. I never thought about it like that. Okay, so the weekly reach is 2.1 million listeners. All right, I think that's the number that counts. Now, it's very different than like, because we would completely compare it to like streaming. Like right now, I could tell you how many people I have watching me. I have 12,645 people watching, right? 5,000, this is how it breaks down. 5,488 on the Academy. 4,955 on King Akademiks, 1,100 on Kick, and then Rumble. It doesn't tell me actually, but whatever the remainder would be. Here's the thing. When I think about radio, I think it's way beyond, or this is how historically I've thought about radio. It's way beyond even what we do in streaming or podcasting, because the ability to reach so many people, and it's not about concurrent necessarily, it's about the new people that are reached throughout a month. So yes, maybe they have 20,000 people listening at one particular, I think they said during a quarter hour, so in a 15-minute segment, but they are saying they reached 2.1 million, right, listeners, and they're thinking that that's unique people. So 2.1 million different people in the New York metropolitan area. Now, before I get into the whole soliloquy or trying to break down how radio is kind of like, you know, it works, in generality, you guys are watching me on, you know, with the exception of Kick, the way how people get paid is ads. This is everywhere, right? I get paid from ads on YouTube. I get paid from ads on Rumble. Same with the radio. Same with television. Based on their audience, they get paid. Now, here's a great thing, and this is why these industries lasted so long. Number one, television networks were kind of almost gate kept, right? They were owned by these big, you know, conglomerates, whether it was let me see. Why am I blanking? Viacom or whatever, and they would own certain channels, and then they would sell basically a license to your cable provider, whether it's Cablevision, whether it's like, what are these TV networks? I don't know, whatever they're called. They would sell them, and again, I'm being kind of like integral here, so I know you guys are smart, you'll keep up, but the point is this: the majority of money, which most companies spend about like 30 to 40% of their revenue, or at least the profit that they receive, in reinvesting in the actual brand. And most of it goes to marketing. Most of it goes to advertising. Yes, McDonald's sells 1 million burgers or 1 billion burgers a year, but they still invest a huge chunk of their profit into continuing to promote the brand and to advertise. That advertisement money goes to radio and TV, and they've gotten the lion's share for a long time. Why? Because it's kind of been almost like it's always been like this controlled like cabal, right? The ratings for these things were done by what's called Nielsen. Now, here's the interesting thing about radio. Radio is so old, and how they measure it is so inaccurate. Remember I just told you how many people are watching me? See, like, I could just refresh my page, and I could tell you exact number of people watching me. Again, right? I'm being watched by 12,748 people. In radio, you can't do that. Now, this is where you play with the numbers, and this is where you like finesse. The way how they measure radio audience, there's a couple different ways, but the most popular way is that they would give these people like these devices, and they know the area where the signal of the radio station could go, and they would give out a bunch of these devices to people who would go about their regular day. And as these people go about their regular day, from either being in the car, being in public spaces, going to shows, blah, 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 wherever, it would be able to tell and calculate how many people are listening or how many people are tapping into the frequency, because that's how radio works. Radio is broadcasted via frequencies that are owned by the federal government. That's why payola is even a thing, because the government technically owns all airwaves, right? So, and the airwaves are leased to companies that have radio stations. So Hot 97 and Power 105, the government owns the airwave or the frequency, which is 97.1 and 105.1, right? And by the way, don't ask me why I'm giving you all this whole thing to get into this, but I like to be we have to understand the history of all of this. Now, for years and years, this shit was almost like, it was just a finesse. You had Nielsen basically coming up with these, and actually they have other companies that do radio ratings as well. They come up with this thing to say, yo, they're getting all this viewership. We don't know. There's no counter. It's not that digital. And essentially what would happen is that companies would just throw a shit ton of money into radio and into TV to promote their products. This is why we get people like Howard Stern. This is why we get people like Oprah Winfrey. They were getting a shit ton of money because, again, historically people felt that TV and radio were the main means that people consumed information and watched content, so they would be also seeing advertisements. Okay. A lot of things has changed, y'all. A lot of things has changed. And without giving you this entire breakdown of why radio is in the place it's in, that could be for another stream. So let's kind of hyper-focus on what's actually going on now. But let's even do more than that, because I want to give a little lesson in this, and I do want to remind people that, a lot of why I believe there's a lot of vitriol towards me, and every time they talk about me like I'm some bum, like some guy who oh no, he's just the guy who he's only here because he capitalized off dead kids in Chicago. None of them really want to say it accurately. They don't want to say, hey, Akademiks is one of the people who revolutionized what media is. By the way, if you're going to say me, you got to say Q from World Star, God rest his soul. And what do I mean? Because I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here. And I'll even mention blogs as well. There was a blog era. People eroded and took a lot of audience from these antiquated places where people would get information from, TV and radio. Now, the reason why I said there's some lesson to be learned in this, I've always told you, let me show you this guy right here. 50 Cent once said this guy was the single-handed reason why New York City radio and hip-hop went in a decline. I hate to say it, I do agree. He's a guy from the Bay Area. He was given the title of program director at Hot 97. And this was a guy who, with all due respect, had zero foresight for where the game was going. He was like exactly what the record labels were. The record labels, and let me not go down that path, but I'll just make it a two-liner. The record labels got all fucked up and they were fucking stuck on stupid and mad niggas got fired when they realized that people could burn a CD and upload the shit to a peer-to-peer sharing software like Kazaa, LimeWire, Napster. The music industry, bang! It was in a dismal downfall. This is why the tech companies saved music. Because when they couldn't sell physical product anymore, the industry was looking bleak. They were pushing the government to try to shut these people down, and, you know, they were trying to get indictments, and that's where you see DJ Drama gets, like, arrested for doing mixtapes. The labels, and this is record labels, they're always late to the party. It wasn't until later streaming, and this is why streaming pretty much, you know, they would have kicked the labels out of the whole situation with music if the labels in their own catalog, but that's another thing we'll talk about. But the point is this. In this game, it's very important to have some foresight of what's coming. Now, this guy right here, I need to remind you of his history. This guy gets the program director at Hot 97. And by the way, I want to warn everybody, he's at the same position at Apple. I want to remind you who he is. He's a guy who doesn't prepare for change, and he sticks on the here and now until it's too late and the rug is pulled out from underneath his foot. I want to remind everybody, this is a warning. This is a warning. I want to tell you my first interaction with him. And this is an entire lesson. I want you guys to sit here and listen to me, because I'm going to walk you through it. If they'll say everything about me. Oh, he came above Warren Chirac. He's this, he's that. These days, this guy hates my guts. One of the reasons he hates my guts is because I've championed a lot of the younger artists. These younger artists he thought were helping to destroy hip-hop. The younger artists I helped champion, they all run hip-hop. They're doing the stadiums, or not stadiums, but the arenas now. NBA Youngboy, Playboy Cardi, Lil Uzi Vert. He wanted to be the gatekeeper. He wanted to play God. He thought he was bigger than the program. But my story with him goes back further. In 2010, actually it's around 2012 actually. I'm kind of buzzing a little bit on the college scene in Jersey. I'm no DJ Walla or nothing. Shout out to Walla. But kind of buzzing a little bit, trying to figure out the next step. I'm doing radio. College radio. At my campus, Rutgers University. And I'm like, man, how do I get to the next level? I want to get to the next level. I decided around that time, I said, man, you know what? It would be dope if I could get interviews. But I said, no artist would want to interview me. I was like a nerd. Like, and they try to make some of these terms very bad, but I've studied every industry, and the reason I'm not like them is because I've used my skills to project into the future. I've never thought about what it is and hope it never changes. I anticipate a change. Keep in mind, I'm a math major. A lot of what we do is you take the current numbers and then you have to make a projection on what's going to happen. You look at trends, you look at data. So I was trying to become a personality, or I wanted to be in the music business. I was DJing. So I was the way I got into DJing, I was producing. I was really inspired by Kanye West, Heat Makers, Just Blaze. I was producing. Didn't really know nobody. I was at Rutgers University. Then me and my friends, we started throwing parties. I said, well, I know how to use all the equipment and the software because I was like looping a lot of stuff and using virtual DJ. So I'll be the DJ. So I start DJing. Then I get to radio or college radio. And I realized I'm Jamaican. If you guys ever in Jamaica, the radio DJ is called Selecta. I'm over here. I'm like, yo, hey, I need to, like, if you ever think about dancehall, the DJ is the voice of the culture. So I said, you know, I'm going to do some radio shit. How do I get bigger than that? I'm like, all right, man, I got to try to interview people. Didn't really know how to interview people like that. I was still really kind of like learning, but I was learning on the job. That's the great thing about being an entrepreneur. And that's another thing we're going to underscore along all of this. No, I never carried a crate for a motherfucker. No, I never interned and made niggas coffee and just sat outside the room like a goofy. No, I never did any of that. Honestly, maybe I would have. I'm not saying I was too prideful. I just didn't have the connects. Even though I was in New Jersey and all these stations are in New York, I didn't really know nobody that did anything. And what I was going to school for had nothing to do with motherfucking media. You see, now they try to like knock people like me. They're like, no, you're not a journalist. Like somebody who went to school for a journalist degree, which, by the way, journalism or a communications degree, that shit's the easiest thing in the world. Nigga, I graduated with a biomathematics degree. And also have a degree in sociology, but who cares about that? I did have to keep my grades up. Anyway, the point is this. I start trying to offer to do interviews. Love and Hip Hop was popping at the time. And I'm trying to let me just try to see if I can talk to any of these Love and Hip Hop chicks. And I always tell people that my breaking point in me starting to broadcast myself, and by the way, we're now 15 years later. My breaking point in starting to sit on this mic by myself. And I remember one of the first times, I remember doing a Yeezus album review in a closet. Because I was tired of chasing around these pompous motherfuckers who all thought they were the shit. I said, this shit ain't cut out for me if I need to beg these motherfuckers who think their shit don't smell to sit right next to me, that I could have some visibility. If I can't make it with me just popping my shit, my insight, my breakdown, the things I think I'm good at and I could elevate with, I don't want this shit. And that actually was the best decision I made. But before then, I was reaching out to everybody. Charlemagne tells that story. I tell the story. Charlemagne was one of the only niggas that said, because me and him used to argue on Twitter, and it wasn't like argue like I'm dissing, but it was just like I listened to the show every day. I was a student. Listen to all this shit. Student. You got to be a student of all this if you really want to get into it. So I would kind of like try to find things that maybe like logically he wasn't whatever, or maybe he was missing the point on whatever. And I would like tweet at him and argue with him. And I ain't gonna lie, he would engage. That was back when Charlamagne would actually tweet. That was cool. I did an interview with him. Some people have seen it. A lot of people have seen it. Way back. It's like in 2013.
Architect of Aggravation, Charlotte.
Ironically, 2013, you hear Charlamagne said hip hop is in a golden era. This is no diss to you, Charlamagne. This is raccoon Charlamagne. No bleach skin, no not bleach, but like, no pigmentation fakes. This is raw Charlamagne. I know this is a slow story. Just buckle up. So I did this interview and, I was very proud about it. I was pretty much a novice. I always give Charlamagne credit. I didn't even know how to outro the thing. Charlamagne taught me how to outro. I can't even lie. I think he said it before too. Cool. I reached out to Hot 97 and I wanted to talk to them. I reached out and I hit up. I wanted to talk to Ebro. At the time, there was a music producer or a music director. Her name was Carly Hustle. When I reached out, in chat, there's going to be a lesson in all of this. When I reached out, I was greeted with they looked at me as the ops. Obviously, I looked up to Charlamagne. I was a huge fan of his. But because my interview with him was out, they told me, ain't you Charlamagne's boy? Why the fuck will we be doing something with you? Subsequently, nothing ever happened. We never did the interview. I hope you're starting to hear and realize the lesson. WQHT Hot 97, which was owned at that time by a company called MS Communications. The radio DJs who were all employees of Hot 97 were in a O-Block 63rd beef with the people who worked at Power 105. They were in full beef. I live in Jersey. Anybody in New York knows. You couldn't, at a point, if you went to a big party, you couldn't have a Power 105 DJ and a Hot 97 DJ on the same lineup. It was straight up beef. Now, think about this, and this is why it's very important to recall some of these things. These motherfuckers were beefing, gangbanging pretty much, for a company they didn't own. But you know what? They felt like they did. Why? They walked around like big shots. When they had that logo next to their name, Hot 97 or Power 105, they walked around like their shit didn't stink. There's a point that Ebro got into it's
the Hot 97 Morning Show.
A gatekeeping, and this is how much he was feeling himself. He was acting like he owned WQHT, which is called Hot 97, which I told you is owned by the federal government. But he was moving like he owned it. Just like now, he moves like he owns Apple. Didn't I tell you you're going to see the same things come up? They put you, by the way, and I could get into that a little bit further, because his personal feelings affects people and their playlisting. I have several examples, but we're not there yet. This dude was acting like he was the gatekeeper. All right, well, I get to decide what's hip-hop and what's not hip-hop. Is it good enough or not good enough? And this continued, but it spilled on to even on-air arguments where people would...
But what's crazy is though...
You wanted to get ladies on
because I knew to compromise station.
Props. And what station is he on, my nigga? What station is he on? And what station you at right now promoting your shoes? You with us, my nigga. You been with us, my nigga.
Listen,
because niggas want to act like we not moving out here, my nigga.
That's what
we
made
moving.
Me, first of
y'all
all,
niggas is tripping.
Wait a minute. First,
and look, you Buck, you my dude.
That's why I said it. I was here before you got here.
Now, a huge debate happened in New York City where some artists, because radio was the only outlet they had, they were like, well, this is supposed to be a local station, even though it's one of the biggest. How do we get an opportunity? And Ebro, while sitting up on his high horse, he said, well, let me tell y'all the truth. We got the minor leagues and we got the major leagues. And if you want to get played on this station, you got to be in the major leagues. He's moving like he owned the bitch. Big boss, CEO. He owned the shit. You know, it's always ironic when you see a nigga moving like he owned the shit, get fired from the shit. Because they were moving a little bit different. It's like, we'll get to that. Anyway.
I was here before you got here.
But
that's why.
You hear what he's saying. Because Ebro's moving like he runs this.
I got you and I keep you here, don't I?
Whoa. Okay, boss. Okay, massa.
You up here right now.
Why? Because I had to bark?
No, because I couldn't get you. Don't you think I had to let you up here?
No, you right.
Whoa. So it's funny when the worker talks like the boss, huh? See, Ebro's job was a program director, which somehow he bullied his way into being a host. Now, let me tell you how it works in terms of positions and jobs at most radio stations. Just to be clear, Ebro is Diddy. And pause before I say this. I'm not somebody who would besmirch someone's reputation just for whatever, because I really don't have anything against him. But what I mean, he's Diddy, not in anything sexual. I don't know about his sexual escapades, and I don't want to put that out there. I'm saying he's Diddy as in he's the guy who's the executive that want to be the artist. All up in the videos, all up in the, yes. A program director is the person who, other than the general manager of that station, is responsible for everything that's going on within that building. In no other station, to my recollection, is the program director on air talent. They're in the back. They're figuring out what shows. They're hiring people. They're dealing with slots. They're working with the salespeople. They're working with the music director for new music. They're like Bill Belichick, so to speak. But not boss right here. Not the boss. Remember, it's his station. He run this shit. He's on air. And when he's on air, he's reminding people, I let this shit happen. How ironic. Okay. This is 11 years ago, people. These things are documented.
Right. No disrespect. Don't nobody watching this get it fucked up. Syph could laugh, whatever. If I say the shit ain't moving, it's not moving.
Well, slow down there, buddy. You see how this guy talks as if he owns the shit? By the way, Apple, this is how he talks there too.
I don't do that. I help. Wait, let me finish, my nigga. Yeah. I help Pat Poose, my nigga. I help Joey Badass. If Joey Badass came up here for Rosenberg show and I was like, nah, nigga, that ain't moving. Nigga, it's not moving. True. I let it move.
The artist had to sit there and get reamed out by the boss. of the record label. Or no, I mean the radio station.
Look, my nigga, for everybody.
Listen,
hold on, Cypher. Let me finish, my nigga. Let me finish.
Let him go in.
I let niggas believe I'm the bad guy.
Let him go in.
I jumped out and said I'm the bad guy.
That's what I respect.
Right? If you
That's
mad
why I
at
love
hip hop,
you.
if you
That's
mad
why
at,
I love you.
I'm this nigga right here, right? Because my niggas at the station, Cypher Sounds will tell you, right? When Rosenberg was busting his ass, yo, pay attention to this, pay attention to this. Niggas around here wasn't paying attention. So we created a fervor, an anger. I started it with our guy, Sean Price. Sean Price is my nigga. I love Sean Price.
Okay. I don't want to get too much into this because it's a long story to tell. So Ebro has been yapping his gums because he's a boss and he's now turned into a player. Now, what ended up happening is that there was a morning show, one that wasn't that good. I got to be honest, okay? I like Cypher Sounds, but they had to compete against the Breakfast Club, and we all know Charlemagne is a bona fide star, a guy who's very talented at entertaining. They stood no chance. It was Cypher Sounds and Rosendweeb. And that show was abysmal. Corny jokes, weird punchlines. Anytime there was an interview, whether it was a rapper that came to town and they did both outlets, you would almost never watch what they did on Hot 97. Nobody wanted to hear Peter Rosenberg sound like a nerdy hip-hop version of Aiden Ross. We didn't want to hear it. So guess what happens? The boss bullies the scene. Hold up.
I bully the whole scene.
And he jumps on the show. He does a ditty. Remember, it's his job to place the shows. The show ain't working because Charlemagne is giving belt to ass. Charlemagne's giving belt. Whoop! Yo, he's giving him belt. Instead of figuring something else out, the boss, who thinks he single-handedly could decide what goes or not goes in terms of radio for New York City artists, he's so full of himself, he says, fuck it, I'll take over y'all show. He even renames the show. It went from Rosenberg and Cypher Sounds in the morning to Ebro in the morning with Rosenberg and Cypher Sounds. Bullied the whole scene. The Diddy complex. Just get y'all bum asses out of here. I'm the real star. Now, I do want to advance this a bit because we don't have to go through every painstaking little moment or minuscule moment that contributed to all this. But the reason why I brought up my history with Ebro is that, you know, they're on a high horse. They said, oh, I interviewed Charlemagne, fuck out of here. I started to pop off online around 2014, I believe. 2013, 2014, I'm popping off a bit. And especially when it came to time when I was covering the Meek stuff, that's going to 2015, Meek and Drake beef, I get an email from Ebro. Do I still have it? I don't know if I still have it. Do I? Who cares? I just want to look. Yeah. Yep. Wednesday, December 17th, 2014. Now, I want to make sure as I'm telling the story, I let people know I am not upset because he just said fuck off, or his people said fuck off at the time. That's not the point of what I'm trying to say to y'all. The point of what I'm trying to say to y'all is that in entertainment, it's always important to have some vision of what is to come. What I'm actually accusing Ebro of is being someone that lacks vision. And in multiple, as you will hear as the story goes on, I'm going to speed it up a little bit, but every time he saw the next, he rejected it until he had to conform. To put it in perspective, chat, by 2014, I'm making almost damn near $100,000 a month. Like, I'm kind of out of here. No, it wasn't 24. I was 2015 actually. I'm almost kind of like out of here, but like I'm super popular in 2014. So like he's doubling back, but it's a little bit too late. You get what I'm saying? You'll hear that when I tell the Uzi story as well. So, all of this is happening. Music starts to change. How people consume music starts to change. And one of the biggest things that I seen happen that I believe exposed him was, of course, the SoundCloud era, where his lack of foresight, he became the villain for the SoundCloud era in him thinking, oh, the movement of the youth won't keep progressing, which was, I think, is a really stupid take. Lil Uzi Vert came up there. And in this interview, Ebro, still the pompous guy who is now did a coup on the morning show. He took it over. He's the boss. He's Diddy. He's the boss. He's the star player. It's his show. He controls what artist could pop off because he plays whatever he wants. He's acting like he owns the shit. We never knew someone could fire him. Do y'all remember this?
I don't know, man.
I respect the fact he fell off at the end.
Yeah. Put another beat on. Shit.
Nah, because all I got is old man beats and you're not built.
Hey, listen. It's going to be a lot of young guys coming up here and they ain't going to want to rap on that. I'm trying to tell you, it's changing.
Yo, look.
What did I tell you and what's the theme of the story? For anybody who, listen, I'm not speaking to Ebro. I'm speaking for other people, and I've learned this myself. Embrace change. This culture, the meta, whatever you want to call it, the technology, the social media platform, where music is consumed, where it's popping off at, it changes every 3 to 4 years. Never be an Ebro. Now, before I play this, and this is where I'll end my story with him, because I don't want people to think, obviously we've had words back and forth, and I think, I've heard him say some pretty nasty things about me, but maybe I've said some nasty things about it, whatever. I will say that I saw him at Barclays face to face not too long ago, and we both said, "What up, nigga?" We didn't shake hands or nothing, but that's it. So it's a lot of talk. Nobody's doing nothing, and nobody should, right? So, just to let you know that. But to end my part of the story, for whatever reason, and I always thought my place in hip hop, chat, I want to tell y'all the God honest truth. When you see some of these guys getting at me, I hope you understand that there's a few things a lot of times that's at play. I'm not saying sometimes, maybe they have legit reasons, but a lot of times you always see these things seethe up into it. Anytime they bring up Chirac, it's not because they care about Chirac. They have never gotten mad at anybody else covering Chicago. There's still people covering Chicago. They're not mad at the rappers who may have exploited or contributed. They're not mad at any of that. What they're really mad at, they're jealous and mad at my position. And usually it's never no one that's of equal or a stature above mine. They can disguise it all they want, but once you hear that, just know. 100%. That's why I've stopped even engaging in conversation with it. Oh, you can't. Wait, you're still talking about a come up when I've been doing this for 15 years? Even if you think that's how I came up, you think I stayed at this level because of that? But they can't say anything nice. They don't like you. They don't like me. It's okay. One of the times I'm in a back and forth with Ebro. And Ebro, and I was trying to look for the clip. I couldn't find it. If anyone finds it, let me know. Ebro and his pawn, Rosendweeb, they say to me, you don't even have a fucking platform. Remember, they're acting like they own Hot 97. So they say to me, you don't even got a platform. You don't got no damn platform. Now anybody who watches me, because I think I had made the argument that no, I'm building something here. But once again, they were always stuck on the here and now. They never looked beyond that. Chat, and this will make sense in a second. Chat, we had 600,000 people who followed us on Twitch. By the way, some news might happen about Twitch soon. We'll see. We had 600,000 people that followed us on Twitch. We got with Rumble. We brought 100,000 people over there. We're on Kick. We're going to bring 100,000 people over there again. We're on YouTube. We got millions over there. We have shown that our audience, yes, it is centralized in certain places, but what I've done is build audience over time, not necessarily one thing, because we move around. Y'all know it. So when I go and I quote this number and I say, yo, there's 15,000, well, actually it's 14,744 people watching now. It's not about the platform. It's about I've connected with people for 15 years and I've done the work rather than just say, oh, I'm with Complex or whatever. I've done it to curate you guys to come look for me. Not to make this a long thing, but they berated me to say having a YouTube channel isn't the platform. The irony, Ebro records a video saying he got let go or his show is no more. You know what he says? Y'all, could y'all follow my YouTube channel? 10 years after he done told me having a YouTube channel ain't shit. Do you see where I'm getting at, chat? I'm showing you step after step after step after step. By the way, it's the same thing with Rosendweeb. You know why their podcast just kind of went away? Because they never built an audience, and they were so late to the party. Rather than do the grind and be embarrassed because they didn't really hone the audience early, they just gave up. That's what they did. Just gave up. But once again, I'm trying to show y'all the lack of foresight is what has put everybody in this place. I want to play this clip now before we get to the current stuff. Because when Uzi sat in front of them and said, hey, listen, let's get some different beats. And it wasn't about the freestyle. I also understand the freestyle element because shout out to Flex. Flex does a great job and he gets freestyles. But you know what Flex does amazing? Flex understands shit is moving. You know what Flex does? Flex knows how to, he knows how to reinvent himself or adapt to the changing marketplace of music. Ebro, he always felt he was a standard. You know why? He's on his Diddy shit. I'm the big boss. So when Uzi said to him, yo, bro, you know there's going to be a lot of artists coming up here that might not want to do that. Things are changing. The big boss, who, remember, he says there's major leagues and minor leagues, and he's a major league. He thought it was George Steinbrenner. He basically said, nah, here we go.
Listen, it's gonna be a lot of young guys coming up here and they ain't gonna want to rap on that. I'm trying to tell you, it's changing.
Yo, look,
it's changing.
I hope they change.
It's changing, bro.
I hope they change.
I don't know, man.
I respect the fact he fell off at the end.
Yeah.
Hold on, I want to play the full thing.
Lil Uzi Vert proved a titan of the industry.
One of them old beats, I'm not rapping.
As old man beats and rockstar thing. What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
It means a lot to me. It's a lifestyle.
Like what does that look like? Is that just...
It look like me. It look like Marilyn Manson. It looks like Gigi Allen.
4 years later, Ebro had this to say about it.
Okay, no, let me go actually play this.
My fans, like, yeah, I do not care about it. Like, yeah. Put another beat on, shit.
Yo, look.
It's changing.
I hope they change.
It's changing, bro.
I hope they change. I hope they change. But
by the way, he tried to like set him up and put some beats that was not like, if you knew the artist of Lil Uzi Vert, that wouldn't be probably the beats you would put for Lil Uzi Vert. But he was so stuck on the past of that's what we would put for Nas. So if you want to get in the culture that Nas helped build, you need to rap like Nas. You know?
As I've seen with all you little young motherfuckers that think you nice.
Yeah.
He is pretty nice.
You nice.
Yeah, I'm good.
Y'all get to like 27, 28, and y'all niggas get to struggling, and y'all be trying to come back and find that sound.
I ain't gonna struggle, bro.
All right, we're gonna see.
We gonna see. Oh, you gonna learn.
And guess what? I'm gonna be here.
Yeah.
And guess what? I'm gonna be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
We gonna see. Oh, you gonna learn.
And guess what? I'm gonna be here.
Yeah.
We didn't say nothing.
Yeah. And then here you are.
Shit.
You'll decide when you're a rock
Let
star.
me hear it. And
Look at the gatekeeper in.
now, if you pull out one of them old beats, I'm not rapping on it. Straight up. You see me, bro? I am a rock star, bro. I'm not rapping on that type stuff.
We'll decide when you're a rock star.
Let me hear it.
Really?
I'm letting you know.
He's at least being honest about it.
Yeah. My fans, my fans won't be disappointed. They get it.
No, they will.
No, they won't.
I hope I piss your friends
Your
off.
fans gonna be disappointed. All the old guys.
They don't give a
They're
fuck.
gonna be. Yeah. They don't even know why I'm on here right now.
What they'll be disappointed is if you get up here and these bars you spit is trash, and I don't tell you they trash. So let's get to these raps since you know so nice.
This nigga want me to make a song like.
You said that was your favorite Kanye song, right?
Yeah.
Well done, bro.
Why he do this? Like, yeah, I do.
I mean, I respect.
Yeah. It's gonna be totally different too. Like I'm be all the way a rock star by then.
No, let me ask you, because you keep throwing around this rock star thing. What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
It means a lot to me. It's a lifestyle.
Like, give me more words than that.
What do you
mean?
What do you mean by it? That is a good question.
Like, what does that look like? Is that just...
It look like me. It look like Marilyn Manson. It looks like SOBs. I walk on.
Now, sorry I did that build up. And by the way, I felt like I could have went for another 30 minutes if I really had to walk you through everything. Because I remember this shit crystal clear. By the way, 50 called us out.
But you said, look, the New York City hip hop died. I didn't shoot it. You did it.
No,
because nobody else can.
You pulled it apart. You had everybody beefing with you. Anybody did a record with Joe or Ja was beefing with you. At a time when we could have had unity and everybody came, the marquee artist, not the new artist, the marquee artist, did not want to work together.
Check this out. Listen, look. We could not have had unity at that point. You don't really want to say what it is because of how he perceives Jay. He wants to.
Who, is this me? Oh, he's trolling.
Could someone please bring us past the Great Poupon? Where's the caviar? Now, you want to tell us exactly, man, what you see in that face, man. You know what it is.
No, I thought
he'll blame me for New York City hip hop.
It is your fault.
He was the program director.
No,
he did not play their music.
No, I supported
this is who
you.
they should be looking
I supported
for.
you.
That's what back here.
It's your fault. And
Anyway. Point of that is, Radio Insight reports syndicated show Ebro in the Morning featuring Ebro Darden, Peter Rosenberg, and Laura Stiles has come to end. Now, there's one more part that I do have to remind you guys of. Give me 1 second. I'm just pulling up the news. Okay. All right. So, Hot 97 was owned by Emis Communications. Okay? Emis Communications was hemorrhaging money. Right? But they was allowing all the nigga shit to happen. Essentially what happened is that a company named MediaCo Holden bought Emis Communications in terms of the radio side of it, and they bought it for $91 million in cash. Okay? Essentially, 107.5 WBLS, a station that Wendy used to be at, and Hot 97 were sold. So they have new ownership. Now, the new ownership, they're all into cost-effective things. And they're less about, Emis Communications used to give a leash to, like, say, companies like Hot 97 that was hemorrhaging money. Because they would say, well, we care about the cultural impact. So even if we lose a little bit on the bottom line, fuck it. This company is on some, y'all niggas gonna have us go broke. You're fired. That's what basically they're on. So, yesterday, I believe, Ebro says it's done. More to come. Ebro in the Morning is done. Rosenberg put a whole lot of bullshit up there. He said, I lived out a childhood dream. It was amazing, this and third. He went to Instagram and said some shit like that, too. Rosenberg. What'd he say? Here we go. Yeah, he wrote a whole thing. You know this bitch-ass nigga was crying. Almost 19 years later, it's come to a close. The longest tenured morning host ever at a station became friends with my heroes. The future is exciting, but I'm filled with gratitude to the past. Ebro plucked me out of obscurity in D.C. and put a mic in my head. Nigga, fuck out of here, man. Get y'all bum asses out of here, okay? So, a little bit more about the show. That kind of like, crystallizes most of the stuff I've said before. Ebro in the Morning debuted in 2012. When the program director moved back to mornings after previously hosting the day part from 2004 to 2007, okay? When he hosted it back then, like, this nigga was definitely on some Diddy shit. He did something called, and anybody who knows radio would know this, and by the way, as I said, I keep telling y'all I'm a student of this shit. When Ebro was back on the radio back then, was it Miss Jones there too? Or was it, that was not Miss Jones. I can't remember. Who was it? Anyway, he did some shit called, I remember it. He did Power Slap before Power Slap. Ebro Slapfest. There used to be some shit called Slapfest. Like, look at this shit, chat. Smackfest. Look at this. This is a type, they talk about me and Warren Chirac. They were bringing niggas to come up to Hot 97 to smack Earth, Wind, and Fire out of each other for $50. This is what, remember, I'm the evil, but they were bringing niggas up there in 2004 This is 19 years ago, people. Look at this. Look. This is what they was doing on radio, y'all. This type of coonery, that's what they had going on. Now, keep in mind, these are the guys who are high and mighty. Oh, accurate promoting violence. They bring niggas up to slap each other in front of the logo.
New York, go!
Bumbleclot. Yo, Dana White got it from here.
New York, go! Jersey, go!
Gave these niggas $50 each, man. $50, chat. $50. I like to let people know. Yeah, some of these were entertaining. I ain't gonna lie, though.
What up, though? Keep it in place. Chitara, go! Yeah!
But when these guys are on Twitter acting as if they're high and mighty and they're like, how could Act do this and do that? How could Akademiks have his opinion about this and do that? These people were treating people as crackheads. Oh, you want some tickets to the 50 Cent show? Well, come up here, get slapped, slap somebody for our entertainment, laughter, and we'll give you some free tickets and $50. But they're the people that sit on the soapbox.
Aisha, go!
Oh, shit.
Chitara, go!
There was some knockouts, too. Yo, they slapped a chick so hard the Hot 97 sign fell off.
Keep it fair.
No hitting the head and no following each other after the show is over.
We just hit the nest from
Oh, matter of fact, I ain't gonna lie, DJ Envy was working there, too.
Go!
Ooh.
Yeah, DJ Envy was in the background. Yeah, DJ Envy used to work over there, by the way, too.
Harlem, go!
They would get people from different places. Harlem versus Jersey.
Oh! I say go. Go!
They would get mothers, wives. They had no type of moral compass. But remember, they're the ones who say, Ack, you're really bad for talking about people in Chicago. We could bring people to slap the fire out of each other. But it's important that I just give that context for these people who, with lack of knowledge of their history, they rewrite themselves to be saints. Okay? Now, if you guys want to watch this, just search up Hot 97 Smackfest. I believe they eventually got sued. And Emma's Communication was always asleep at the wheel, so they never really shut it down. Oh, yeah, here we go. Look. Hot 97's Vicious Smackfest KO'd and New York bans it. State officials ordered Hot 97 to stop its controversial Smackfest. By the way, I've never had any law officials order me to stop anything I'm doing, but these are the guys. Remember, you got to remember their history because they love bringing up mine. You know, if I was supposed to talk about them like they incorrectly talk about me, I would say the only reason he's relevant is because he had women and young teens slapping each other at the radio station. That's how he blew up, because we never heard about Ebro before. He wasn't really an online or on-air personality at that point. He was the guy who we didn't even know what he did. Because, again, he was kind of in the background a little bit until later on he bulldozed the show. The girl-on-girl contest, which sometimes drew blood, amounts to an illegal boxing match that could lead officials to be charged with a crime, according to the State Athletic Commission. What's more, the commission warned the general manager, as well as the chairman of the parent company, Emma's Communication, that they're going to face a $10,000 fine if it continues. half a dozen city members asked the state attorney general, Elias Spitzer, to rule the bouts out of bounds under state law barring unlicensed fights. Okay? This is how them dudes was giving it up. During one of the matches, Hot 97 DJ Ebro intervened to stop the smacking, saying, "We got mouth blood." But he later brought the two women back for more smacking. Exactly. All right. By the way, the tournament of slapping was, oh, you might win 5,000 if you slapped enough people. Anyway. So, as they like to memorialize how they claim my platform came to be to its prominence, I need to tell you how their platform and what they've been doing for the last 20 years. Stuck in their ways, pompous and arrogant, gatekeepers, refusing to change, carrying women. Some of these people might have been pregnant, slapping each other, fights, blood. None of the things that I've been associated with, but these are the people who now sit up on Twitter and talk like they're angels. Okay. So Rosendweeb basically says he's getting fired, and I've done a number on him. Rosendweeb had like a wife before. I exposed she was getting donkey fucked by the male guy. She was getting that BBC. He was obsessed with me while she was getting the BBC. And we weren't talking about necessarily the news station at all. Now, after, I hated to be the bearer of bad news. I've kind of done it a couple times, but it's okay. He broke up with her. I'm sorry for that, Rosendweeb. I'm pretty sure he hates me for life for that. I thought I did you a favor. If your chick getting the BBC while you're over here researching me, I think I did you a solid to say, bro, focus on your girl. She's getting slonged down. You know what I mean? She's getting donkey fucked. Anyway, that kind of happened. So I'm gonna spare him today. I've always told you, when me and him got into it one day, he sent me this long-ass message. I thought he was my bitch. I was like, what the fuck? You know when your girl send you that long-ass message? What the hell? You see the dots for days, and you're like, yo, I hope she's not still typing. And she sends you the shit. And it was like, yo, I'm not jealous of you, Akademiks. This is after I was giving them belt ass. I'm not jealous of you. I just think you need to use your voice in a very inappropriate way, in an appropriate way. And you have a lot of, I'm like, man, get off my dick, you fucking bum-ass nigga. Yeah. Anyway. But let's get back to Ebro Darden. Now we realize that the show has been subsequently canceled. Actually, no. Let's hear what Rosendweeb had to say. Here we go.
Tried to tell you guys for a long time, change was afoot. And change is afoot. But change can be beautiful. So, yeah, there's some changes on the horizon. Stay tuned. I tried to tell you guys for a long time.
Now, I hate to it's not really that personal for me because I feel like I've lapped these losers a couple times, but it's okay. I do need to tell you all the details. Now, when I get to Complex, Joe leaves. I'm running Everyday Struggle. Cooling up there. They bring this loser on, and he's moving like a diva in there. He got wardrobe, he got this. We don't even got that. Nigga, I'm showing up with regular hoodies, whatever. This nigga got all type of shit. On one particular day, they would film after us. I think I seen him once or twice in the hallway, but I'm not a fake dude, right? Obviously, I'm not going to attack the guy. I'm not a violent person, but I'm not going to do the fake kick it shit when I know you're on Hot 97 constantly sneak dissing me, right? We're not cool. This dickhead goes online afterwards and says, I seen Akademiks in person. He looks scared of me. What? Now, I subsequently one-upped him and I said, yo, listen, let's meet somewhere and I got and catch a fade. Come on now. And I hated to even bring it there, but if a guy who is experiencing the most extreme case of male pattern baldness. He's been bald for like about 2 or 3 decades now. If this guy was going to let the internet know that I saw him and I was cowering down, come on, chat. Like, I get if it was like a rapper like Chief Keef. He's like, yo, I seen Ak. He look a little scared. All right, cool. Rosendweeb? Like, come on, bro. So anyway, that happened. What on the bridge? Who cares, right? So, I guess this was his pre-announcement that he is basically out of there. To be honest, chat, he hasn't been a factor in hip-hop in a while. We ran his ass to WWE, okay? His specialty is is Roman Reigns. Why does this nigga look like a black version of me? Pause. With the fat version of me, too. This is his specialty now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yo, Booker T. Like, it's one of those, you know what I mean? Stone Cold. That's him. Like, we ran this bum out of hip-hop. And Nicki fans, you're welcome, because I remember when he criticized Starships, y'all didn't like him, but trust me, I got him the fuck out of here. This is him right here, okay? This is him right here. He's over here talking about...
This last match should be for the title. Cena should be winning the title.
Oh, yeah.
He should...
They're just talking about a bunch of bullshit, bro.
Is Logan Paul and Paul Heyman, is this a full-time thing? Is this where we're going in the future?
Yeah, we ran his ass out of hip-hop. Nigga, get to the wrestling stage, okay? And even then, they look at him as a clown, right? So we got him out of here, respectfully. We don't really need to talk about him anymore. I did a number on him, lost his wife, punked him. He's copping police, the DMs. He's balding. Took his relevance in terms of like having a voice in hip hop. He's commentating fake wrestling matches. Nothing wrong with it because I like wrestling, but yeah, he's out of here, right? But let's get to the main antagonist. The main antagonist is the guy named Ebro Darden. He's the guy. He's Diddy. Now, it's also very important for me to let y'all know, because of my privyness to so many of these internal conversations, and this is why I know his attitude he's brought to Apple. Ebro is one of the main people that tried to institute street rules up at Apple Music. He was treating Apple's playlist like it was Ebro's playlist. For whatever reason, because 6ix9ine cooperated, 6ix9ine couldn't get playlist anymore. He was no longer eligible. People who went against, and I used to say publicly, he was one of the only people I would not like to go back and forth with, because of his job, he has a power that he's wielding with personal vendetta. And it might affect some of my friends. It affected 6ix9ine. Honestly, I blame him. I blame him for not playlisting Quando Rondo. I had that conversation with motherfucking with Youngboy. Say couldn't get Quando because they were picking sides. Who runs Apple Music, the global head of I had these conversations. So he's been doing this for a while. And I'm just trying to say it didn't stop. It didn't stop at the radio station. It's continued. But let's stay at the radio station for now. He's been running this shit like big boss CEO, whatever. But now we find out his show has been terminated. Let's listen to him in his own words. When was this? Today or yesterday? Let's hear what he has to say, chat. Oh, by the way, Tory as well. Yeah. Tory was getting the blackball. He's been somebody who has been part of blackballing individuals he didn't feel was morally fit, or a lot of times issues outside of music with what he wanted to put up there. By the way, despite anything, I've said about Kendrick Lamar, you do know I do like Kendrick Lamar's music. And I think he's a decent person. Obviously, I'm a Drake guy, but still. That's why I did respect him for standing up for X. Remember when they were trying to blackball or take X off playlists? I respected him for standing up for that. You know why? Because, honestly, it shouldn't be someone like Ebro or any other, radio programmer or playlister that could make a moral choice to say, I don't like you because what I've heard about you. And because I don't like you, and I'm going to personalize this based on my feelings on what I think you did or what I think you are, you don't deserve a chance in this new era where there was a time, I think it's been increasingly less now, where playlists were the way how people found music. And he was using it to say, you don't get a chance to make money for your family anymore. No, you don't. Because I think you're a bad guy. No, you told on your neighborhood. That's your career is good. And to me, that's problematic. That's a bigger issue than Ebro, because there's these people who still think they're gatekeepers. They're realizing they're not anymore, because even if they tried to do it to Gunna, which they didn't try as much, but they did try a little bit, people are going to find it on TikTok through an algorithm, and then you're forced to play it. So it's becoming a little bit less. But there was a time where these playlists were the end-all, be-all right after radio lost its initial or one of the first few phases of relevance. But let's listen to Ebro as he tries to explain why he lost his job. By the way, I also want to remind y'all, Ebro once referred to Drake, and this is what I've always said. He has a very messy job. I like Carl Cherry. Carl Cherry's my guy over at Spotify. What he does, he runs all the playlists, but Rap Caviar is his baby, right? He inherited that from who is it? Is it Tuma? But he doesn't let his personal feelings, and I talk to him a good amount, he doesn't let his personal feelings, whether maybe an artist ratted, maybe that artist he doesn't think is as he gives everybody a fair shake. Hey, this song is going up. Hey, let's put you at the top of the playlist. Takes himself out of it. You know why? He realizes he's not making his own personal playlist. He's making a playlist for the hundreds of millions of people who pay a subscription fee monthly to Spotify. Ebro does not do that. And that's the problem with gatekeepers now. Now, some people might say, well, don't you treat your platform the same? You're damn right. Because fuck Freddie Gibbs. But here's the problem. When y'all come to Act platform, you come for Act. You come for what I built. This nigga was treating Hot 97 like it was his radio station. He picked and chose who went and who didn't. What was eligible to be played and consumed and what wasn't. He's at Apple choosing who should have a career and who shouldn't. It's Apple's playlist, nigga. It's not yours. Go build it and you could do it yourself. But it rubs at least me the wrong way when your antiquated views of hip hop, you could control an entire streaming service. Think about this. If you're the person, and I want to, think about this. And by the way, you've never heard, here we go. Ebro joins Apple Music as the global editorial head of hip hop and R&B exclusive. You know what that means? Playlist, okay? When you see editorial, it means playlist, right? Playlist and radio shows and shit like that, right? Now, should somebody who should be open-minded to all artists, I get it's editorial, but still be open-minded to all artists, because here's the thing. When people sign up for Apple Music, they don't sign up for Ebro. Should that person be online saying shit like this? Wait, let me find it. He was quoted saying Drake is a cancer. Here we go. Does anyone have the clip? I'm looking for it here. I'll find it on YouTube. Okay, here we go.
I know. If you remember.
Reason was it specifically between Kendrick and Drake? Yes. Drake is not that important. The reason Drake's in this is because he is a sickness in the game. It could have been any artist. It's what Drake represents. We've been saying this for months. People love Drake. They love his music. We love his music. He's beloved. He's not willing to go rip his soul from the bottom and do ayahuasca and look himself in the mirror as Kendrick had prescribed to him. On what song was that? Euphoria? No.
Seems like it's about Drake, but continue.
No, but it's about what the game does to someone who's trying to dominate it.
Right.
That's the moral of the story. A lot of artists have been through what Drake's gone through.
Now, I hope y'all understand my criticism and see the nuance in my criticism. I'm a outspoken personality. There's artists that I don't like. I've had public feuds with those artists. I've laughed at them. I've joked about them. I've told you I don't like Freddie Gibbs. I would not be fit for the job of a editorial position of an entire DSP with hundreds of millions of people looking at me to give a fair scope for all artists. We don't know how many people are subscribing to subscribing to Apple Music just to hear or watch, listen to Freddie Gibbs. If I'm the person that's the head guy there, you're not going to be listening to no Freddie Gibbs. I might delete the goddamn database. I wouldn't be fit for that job. Why? Because my personal views of those artists would make it inherently biased and also be something that would probably hurt the listening experience of the fans of that artist. I've always thought this is a conundrum. How could a guy who's I keep using the word Diddy because he wants to be everything at the same time. You can't have a position in hip hop that's supposed to be neutral. Program director should be neutral. It should be a neutral position. You hire the music director. You help shape the music palette, but not in a way where you're saying, I'm the gatekeeper, you're trash, you're not. This is my type of hip hop. This is my shit. I allow this. I. That doesn't work. I keep saying, if you want to do that, go build it yourself. However, this guy's been program director of Hot 97, and now he's the head of global or global director or whatever of hip hop in Apple. How could that person who is saying that Drake is a sickness editorially create podcasts, create content, or any type of subsequent material or playlist to help the random subscriber of Apple Music who might like Drake? He don't like Drake. He thinks Drake is a cancer.
It's about Drake, but continue.
Just trying to dominate the game and losing themselves while they're trying to chase the game. You guys are just focused on the battle. You're not focused on the actual sickness.
But Drake's level's never been reached in hip-hop before either.
Right, because nobody's ever had this level of sickness before, where they're trying to be an art. You're trying to dominate R&B. You're trying to dominate hip hop. You're trying to dominate pop. You're trying to have people write your records. You're trying to do all of these things simultaneous. And oh, by the way, you're also behind the scenes doing people dirty.
So I think both his jobs are antithetical, right? Antithetical. Where they kind of go against each other, right? Like, if you want to be this outspoken guy who has these, almost an axe to grind, and you think people are cancers and the game needs to blah, 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 you shouldn't be the person with the power to literally blackball, suppress. Yo, no more Drake as the playlist cover. Yo, we're not playlisting Drake over a certain amount. You have that power. You shouldn't be able to espouse those opinions that you really don't like someone, or you think that the game, quote unquote, needs to get rid of him, or he needs to adjust for you to like him. So I've always just thought that. But anyway, let's get back to him now giving this update that Media Co., which is the new bosses, they have gotten rid of him. And I want y'all to notice one thing. He's gonna say, "Oh, they don't like that I'm outspoken. They don't like that, I'm just anti-Israel. Israel ain't got nothing to do with this nigga. What the fuck? They to make their money, they had to get me out of there. No. You finally have bosses who don't let you think you're the boss. They have reminded you from day one, you're the worker. And you've been gyrating around for the last 20 years like you're the boss. So listen to this nigga try to spin us in why he is no longer in that position. Why? Because the new bosses ain't fucking with him trying to be Diddy. It's like when Diddy got fired from motherfucking Diageo. No, nigga. We own Ciroc. Get your ass on. Get the fuck on out of here.
Make sure you subscribe to Ebro in the morning.
Wait, hold on. I know the guy who spent years attacking podcasts. And by the way, if you guys have the clips, or if you guys have that one clip where I said when he told me, he says, "What the fuck do you have? A YouTube channel? A YouTube channel?" The guy who has criticized all that, remember? Once again, he's late to the party again. It was 11 years ago he told me all that shit. What is it now? The first words he says, "Could you subscribe to my YouTube channel, y'all?"
Make sure you subscribe to Ebro in the morning on YouTube. Told y'all a couple of weeks ago when they tried to run that Andrew Cuomo play on me. Remember that shit? And then they tried, when the Trumpster got in office. Listen, man, I don't capitulate well, bro. Been doing.
Oh, it's Trump. Oh, it's Trump. Yo, Ebro. Bad Boy. Boss. Massa. Diddy. You know what? I'm calling him Diddy because if, he want to be all up in the video, all on the microphone, running shit behind the scenes. It's not because they like Trump and maybe you don't. It's because you think you're a boss and they have been telling you you're a fucking worker. News flash, buddy. News flash. I remember when I told people, I do fuck with Trump. I rock with Trump this last time around. They wrote all these articles. By the way, we're gonna give another Rip Bozo to another nigga over at Rolling Stone. He lost his job. He was one of them niggas who ran the shit. He said Ack he's a right wing, blah 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 blah. Like I was some extremist because I was like, oh shit. I went down there and I did some shit in Mar-a-Lago. And because I went to Rumble. Rumble gave me $2 million, nigga. The fuck? No, $2 million per year. It's like, all right, y'all want to go? Nigga, I love Rumble. Rumble said, here's $2 million a year. You could still stream on every other platform. We're not telling you to get the fuck off. Just be on it. This is why I stay at Rumble. Because I could just take my shit off Rumble, but I already got an audience there. But shout out to my man, what's it called? Shout out to the CEO over there, like Chris. Chris came to me and said, how much you need? I said, give me two M a year. And I'll stream on Rumble. He said, you got it. I said, all right, let's go. $4 million. That's all. Like, there was no, like, there was like, yo, Ak is working with this to bring hip hop. No, dummy. The fuck are you talking about? However, I knew, and this is why, like, I always be watching. I knew, like, again, I obviously didn't know that the Twitch shit was going to happen like how it happened, but I knew multi-streaming was going to be a thing. I knew multi-streaming, multi-platforms was going to be a thing where it's like, yo, don't just be so committed to one place. We're in an ever-changing, watch how everybody was competing. And I'm like, all right, cool. I see what's going on there. I bet. So, all right, cool. Let me start streaming multiple places. Let me adapt with the times. Let me not be like Ebro. Let me not think I'm just so, like, I could stop shit from no, just follow the ebbs and the flows. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down, but work with it. Don't have that much of an ego when it comes to, like, things changing. Adapt. As long as the goal is to keep building your audience. That's the only thing I've ever told anyone. I said, listen, I'll do a deal or whatever, but I got a lot of people who watch me, and they might watch me on different shit. How could we accommodate them? Then we'll talk about the deal. That's how I've treated things. Why? Because I see shit changing. We've seen this bozo. First he says, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It took you 20 fucking years to get your YouTube channel popping, my nigga? Okay, cool. But he used to shit on YouTube channels. But now he's trying to say some pro-Trump shit, right? It's the Trump guys. Hey, Massa. People own media companies. Like Jeff Bezos owns Washington Post, like Elon owns Twitter. And I know y'all niggas love like this freedom of speech shit, but yeah, you're not going to be on there just chatting up a storm that goes against the boss's agenda, because beyond just the bottom line, they also have their political connects that they're going to be pushing their propaganda for. Remember, it ain't your building, it's their building. You should have quit as soon as they bought the company. But once again, you up in there thinking, it's my radio station. Fuck this. They wanted you to stop speaking on some political shit. Nigga, you're not even a political nigga. Your fucking job is to be up there, be a program director, and talk about hip-hop, nigga. All this extra shit, nigga, like, well, niggas didn't want to hear that from you. I agree with him. It's time to fire your ass. Get the fuck, yo, listen, if I got a company and you work at my company and you're using company resources to slander my peoples, I might bring you into the office and say, all right, listen here, bitch nigga. This is the program right here. You know, it's my company, right? You know, you're not going to use this to go against my friends, right? And if you leave that meeting and you still say, yeah, but fuck that. Nigga, I could do what I want. All right, nigga, you're fired. Get out of here. That's all that's happening. That's all that's happening. And by the way, you see, Apple is so big that Apple Music don't really think about Apple Music like that. Apple thinks about iPhones and MacBooks. You get what I'm saying? Like, Spotify, their only thing is like fucking streaming. Yo, Apple got mad shit going on. They're like, yo, we selling AirPods, we selling iPhones, we selling MacBooks. Like, they're like, Apple Music, okay, whatever. Nigga, they bundle Apple Music with all that, so they don't really give a fuck that much. But they care, obviously, but that's not like their bread and butter. It's a fucking company worth trillions of dollars, right? So they might not notice when Ebro is like, popping his shit over there. But these people at this company that now own Hot 97 instantly notice. Yo, what the fuck is this nigga think he doing? You think it's your shit. Now, I said this to Ebro ages ago. Just like I keep saying with a playlist, if you have personal gripes against an artist and you refuse, like for example, 6ix9ine, you refuse to playlist them, right? Whatever, maybe you a street nigga or you like street niggas, whatever the case is. Cool, he has snitch, blah, blah, cool. I think you should make your own playlist though. For the people who wants to go see Ebro's playlist, it's all within your right not to put the nigga on there because it's Ebro's playlist. Don't do it at Apple's playlist. Same thing applies to WQHT, which is Hot 97. If you want to go talk your political shit, nigga, you should have been made your own fucking YouTube channel. Don't do it on theirs. They're a company, it's a media holding company that has political backing. Why the fuck would they still give you a paycheck if you are kicking their back in? It's just kind of self-explanatory, my guy. If you want to do what you want to do, you want to be Big Act, go put in the legwork Big Act do and put in. If I want to get up on here and say, oh, well, all right, you know what? I'm not cool with Trump no more. It's over. I can. No matter. But you're employed by these people, and then you seem a little bit, you don't seem surprised, but you're trying to spin it like, oh, yeah, you didn't kind of see this coming.
A couple of weeks ago, when they tried to run that Andrew Cuomo play on me, remember that shit? And then they tried, when the Trumpster got in office. Listen, man, I don't capitulate well, bro. Been doing this too long.
That's the problem. The idea about not capitulating, a guy like you who's smart, I would imagine you would have got your own shit that you could do it on your own shit.
If you look around all the major media outlets, man. All of them. Look at all of them. They all got to fold up because they all trying to renew their deals, their licenses. They all, well, in this particular situation, we'll get into more specifics another time. Bro's a casino owner. You know those 3 licenses that they got here in New York City for the casinos? The guy that owns the shit owns one of the casinos licenses. He got to raise $500,000, bro. $500 million, excuse me. They need my shit talking anti-Netanyahu, anti-government, progressive shit out the way, bro. They need me out the way.
Nigga, you ain't that important. They looked at you like a low-level employee that was basically stealing change out the fucking cash register, nigga. Hold on now, nigga. Don't act like you like, oh, I'm the only thing standing in the way of them in $500 million. No, nigga. They look at you as the little peon who every time they've trained you 50 times on how to stock the shelves and you still fuck it up. You ain't no big boss, nigga. Get the fuck out of here. That's why they made sure you was not gonna have a Merry Christmas, nigga. It sound like you figured it out with us on Twitter. Oh shit, did I lose my job? What the hell? God damn. Wait, let me log in. Yo, you ever see that shit when a nigga with a key card trying to enter the building? What? Yep. Nope. Yes, nigga. Yes. 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 That's what happened. He's talking like, yo, like the owners was like, yo. All right, everybody have a seat. This is the board meeting. Everybody have a seat. We need to raise $1 billion this coming year. But we have one thing stopping us. Old man Ebro. Man, fuck out of here, nigga. Hell out of nigga, hell no, nigga. They look at you like the dumb nigga that keeps fucking up the ice cream machine at motherfucking McDonald's, nigga. That's what they look at you. Like, what the fuck this thing? Every time this nigga, we get it to work, he uses it, it breaks. What is this nigga doing wrong? Get him out of here. Get him out of here, man. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. They're shedding dead weight. They look at you like the employee at McDonald's that every time they ask you to take out the garbage, they find you behind a dumpster smoking weed. The fuck is this nigga doing, bro? What is this? What is this? Shirt never tucked in the pants, got stains on his shit. He comes in, look like, yo, get this bum out of here. I don't know why he acting like he's some big dog. Bro, they're trying to raise $1 billion. They're getting rid of all of the bums. That's a fact. Yo, get this thing out of here, man. Fuck. This nigga's acting like they had a meeting. This is in his mind. This is how the meeting went down. Everybody come in. We have a few things that's of the utmost importance. We're vying for a casino license. There's only 3 being given out in New York City. Jay-Z just lost his bid. We got to get it. But it's even bigger than that. This is about world domination. And we must get Israel to be the most powerful nation in the world. And we must raise $500 million. For all 3 things, there's only one person stopping us from attaining our goals. Israel will be number 1 as long as we get Ebro out the way. What the fuck? Get out of here, nigga. Nigga, you think this is Homeland? Hell no, nigga. Yo, they seen y'all bum-ass show that was hemorrhaging money over time. You overpaid. The other nigga just ugly and untalented. And I'll leave the chick alone. But they seen y'all and be like, yo, this ain't y'all collecting the check. Y'all collecting the check like it's welfare, bro. Like, they just said enough. Enough. Yo, you ever give a nigga a gift and he's still talking shit? You be like, yo, why am I even giving you shit, man? Yeah. They got him out of here. This nigga in a car like Mano, like over here giving a state of the radio address. Look like he just came from the radio station, swiped the card 5 times and couldn't get in. Hey, you know what's so funny, chat? You'll notice this, chat. Hey, you'll notice this. You know one of the biggest jokes here should be? This is another thing I want everybody print and all our clippers put this out. Y'all remember like 15 years ago, actually 10 years ago, rappers and also these niggas, when they used to talk about me, they would say, yo, stay in your basement. You're in your mother's basement. Don't all these pussy-ass niggas run to Casanet's room? Oh, they stopped talking about that now. Oh, time doesn't change. Time doesn't change, huh? When they had the big logo and fluorescent lights behind them and they were just sitting up there on the nice, what is it called, ergonomic chairs, and they were feeling nice with the marble table. You're just keep shouting in your basement. That chair looks like it stinks. Heard it a lot from them. You know, after they get fired from their radio job, when I left Complex, I came to my multi-million-dollar house, to my studio, and I've built many studios. Shit. Matter of fact, in Jersey City, I got like 3 or 4 of them. That's the headquarters. Once he fired, he's in the car. You know, you cheating on your girl and you can't make the call because in the house. So you tell the side joint, yo, hold on. I'm going to call you right back. And you run to the car. You act like, yo, you pulled over. But really, you just stepped out the house? Yeah. Yeah. How the mighty have fallen. I'm used to him popping his shit with Hot 97 in the background in a big, luxurious studio. They threw his ass out like Jazzy Jeff. The nigga's in the car. Boy, put your seatbelt on. Stop playing. Put that seatbelt on. Talking to the iPhone. You see, chat? Everything. They would diss me that I was streaming from a basement in a multi-million-dollar home. Why? They were in New York City in a high-rise building in a big studio that someone else owned. Moment your key card don't work, your email address, you know what it says, mailer Damon or whatever. It'd be like, yo, your shit start bouncing back. You're like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's not going nowhere. Nah, it's not going nowhere. Nope. Nigga look like he's scrolling through his BlackBerry. He ran to the car. Chat. He ran to the car. Hey, why you making your YouTube channel, buddy? The one you clown me for? Because 20 years ago you were the guy? Maybe I got like a team. By the way, chat, I don't know if you know, like, remember I used to, when I first started, I was only voice. I've done classes in sound. And you know, now I be doing my little construction shit. I could build studios like no other, but I do got a team. Ebro, if you need me to build you a home studio now, since you can't go to the radio station, I'll build your home studio. You don't have to be in the car. You don't have to be in the car. Because here's the thing, too. It's in New York City. When you have the engine on, we're going to hear it through that iPhone camera. So you have to cut it off. If you were recording for 5 more minutes, we start to see the, you know, when you breathe and you can see the breath because it's so cold. Yes, you don't have to be freezing outside in the car doing the video while you're fish bowling it. You don't have to do that, brother. We'll get you a studio. Hopefully you have a home. You should have a home. You've been the program director. You work at Apple. Oh, you couldn't go to Apple. Apple has studios, but you couldn't go over there to talk about Hot 97 shit. They might have fired you there too. Shit. What's the conundrum? Fuck. Chat. Again, let me just chat. I make money by broadcasting. I want to tell you, I want to explain it to you, right? I have a studio for Off the Record. That's a standalone studio with 3 different sets. I have another studio that we can rent out, but I also, like, I've let Troy have record there. I let Fax do his thing there. We have a bunch of space there. You know what I said? And this is the difference between a mindset between me and a nigga like Ebro. I have a house that is big as fuck. I have a studio down there. I just don't use it no more because I don't shoot solo Off the Record podcasts anymore. And then I have my streaming room, which is here. I made sure I could record. If my job is recorded, I got to make sure I can record anywhere and everywhere. These bozos, they've only been getting a check and been spoon-fed and thought they were the guy for all this time. Watching Ebro look down at his phone, you know when you trying to see another update and you're scrolling, like you refreshing the screen like this? This is what he's doing. He's hoping he sees like, nah, April Fools, come back to work, bro. Come back to work. No, nigga, they're done with you. It's so, yo, get out of here. Get out of here, nigga. Yo, he's over here like, you know when you email you like,
they trying to get to these bags that these VCs got, raise some capital.
This is the worst part about Ebro right here too. Because Ebro isn't stupid. And what he's explaining is actually accurate. This makes him seem stupid. Because if you have all this info, you should be ahead of the game. Chat, why do you think I be having all the info I know? I love talking to label executives. I talk to all of those. I like to know what's going to happen next year, what's going to happen in the near future. Why? I could use that information to my benefit. I start making moves. I get the fuck. Hey, let me tell you this. Shit. Man, hey, listen. I ain't going to say I'm always the first or some shit, but damn. Shit. Like, I remember when Joe asked me to do a podcast. Joe and Charmin did ask me to do a podcast. And I was like, couldn't see the monetization strategy. And I ain't gonna lie, I couldn't see it because I was like, yo, I'm not into the grinding stage right now because we already got something going on. Shit, nigga, as soon as I seen Joe over at Spotify, I said, all right, thank you, Joe. You show me where the bag is. I'll be over there soon. Nigga, a nigga like me, I'm gonna see it quickly, and I'm there. Listen. You don't got to show me the roadmap. I'm not a nigga who drive past the exit 10 times and said, I wonder. No, I'm there. You get what I'm saying? The problem with this nigga, he's going to accurately break down what is going on. And then you have to sit here and think, well, why the fuck did you not do nothing with the show or with your situation and just wait for them to show you to the door? It's like the nigga, you know the nigga who, it's like a nigga who he always knows what's gonna happen. No, it's like the nigga who know all the sports picks but never bets. It's like, nah, I knew they were gonna win. Come on, nigga. I knew they were gonna win. Man, you always, you can't, LeBron never win anytime he's in Detroit and it's cold outside. Like, what the fuck? Like, nigga, why you ain't bet? That's what I'm looking at Ebro to say, he's accurately saying things that I know and educated people know. But what makes him look dumb is that he's sitting in his car like a hobo, smoking weed, stressed out. And why he didn't make a move? If I tell you, chat, yo, niggas finna come in here and rob this motherfucker in 15 minutes. Are you gonna stay around for 20 and be like, damn, I can't believe niggas came up here and robbed this bitch? You know, someone told me.
They don't really care, like, especially for like a Hot 97 and a WBLS. They don't give a fuck about hip hop or black music or black community. They don't give a fuck about none of that.
This sounds like a man who just found out he's a fucking employee. Because when you were up there talking to Uzi and talking down to them artists, you said the opposite. Because to you, what you felt embodied the company. And rather than accepting your role that you were a peon and a pencil pusher and just a nigga who was just filling the position until they got tired of you, you huffed them, you puffed, and you said, well, I did this. I could do this. I. But when they showed you to the door, you're like, yo, they don't care about us. No, nigga, keep it the same way. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. Because when Uzi was sitting in front of you, you didn't dare say to him, listen here, Uzi Vert. The company I work for, their agenda is catering to 18 to 34. And actually, there's another demographics that's 34 to 49 based on these metrics that I need to give my boss. And my boss needs this. I can't play your music because your music is liked by 15-year-olds. So maybe I'll show you some love, but not really. And it's really because of my boss. It's not because of me. It's my boss. My boss requires this. You don't fit the bill. I'm only doing my job. I'm a peon. I'm a pencil pusher. I am nothing more than a shill and someone who's in a role trying to fulfill my boss's agenda because they want to get paid. You sat up there saying, nah, nigga, hip hop, me, I. Why you ain't saying that shit now? Why you ain't saying that shit now? Don't tell me about your bosses now. You never told those artists about your bosses. You said you. Nah, nigga, nah.
Hip hop or black music or black community. I don't give a fuck about none of that. They give a fuck about access. They give a fuck about being able to bring their little nerdy friends to the concerts because that helps them raise money. They've been trying to get to me for years, bro. Years. But, you know, Ebro in the morning on the YouTubes. Subscribe.
Damn. A humbling motherfucking feeling. A humbling motherfucking feeling. What's important, chat, is when you're unwilling to swallow that pride and adapt, life has a funny way to just force you to adapt. Ebro, I want to show you that I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater. I'm not a hater like how you've hated on me. You see, when you spoke about me, you've never said nothing nice to me. When I was an upcoming person and I was trying to get a start, you said, I'm Charlamagne's boy. Fuck out of here. When I was trying to get my foot in the door, you played gatekeeper and you tried to keep me out. Just like how you tried to pick and choose what artists could get on. I want to pull this up because this is important. As it stands right now, Ebro in the Morning has 401 subscribers. You had 25 years to do this, brother. But I want to show you I want to offer an olive branch to you. Chat, I want y'all to go get him to 1,000. Get him to 1,000. And I just want you to know, after you got fired from your job, the nigga who you was trying to keep the door closed on, and every time my name has came up, you've always said nasty things. You've questioned why I have a platform. Yeah, I'll get my jokes off at you, but it's a reason why days like this exist. It's a reason why. Chat, go support it. Yo, chat's like, hell nah. Yo, chat is like, hell nah. Nah, chat, we gotta do it. I want to be responsible. Yo, only one person? Yo, we gotta be responsible for his first 1,000. Like, just keep it at 1,000. Like, leave it at 1,000 and let him rock out. Somebody said, why would we subscribe if you're not gonna subscribe? Bro, I don't want to watch this shit. The fuck? Oh, man. All right, we got 3. We got him with 3. We got him with 3. All right, let's double it. Let's do something, chat. Yo. chat's like, hell nah. Chat, no, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. Let's get him to 1,000. I think we can do it, chat. Or let's get him to 800. You know what I mean? Let's get him to 800. Damn, y'all niggas is not fucking with it. By the way, whether they do this or not. By the way, we've done this for many creators, young creators and smaller creators. I'll say this. What you're also seeing here as well is that even though I pop my shit, and I do pop some shit, the only people who are my boss, they over there in the chat. They over there in the chat. Y'all can tell me, let's go do this. If they say fuck, no, we not fucking with that nigga hated on you. We love you. It is what it is. But that's the problem, bro. You forgot who your boss was. You thought you were the ultimate boss. Neither the people were choosing Uzi. You said, nah, I'm not choosing him. And then the people cutting the paycheck, they said, well, we want this. And you're like, nah, fuck y'all. I'm going to do what I want. Yes, that's how you lose your job. Yep, that's how you do it. Yep. Mm-hmm. Chat, are we doing this or not? Damn. All right, this is not happening. We only gave him like 15 subscribers. We usually move faster. No way. All right, just make a poll. Are y'all going to do it or not? If you're not going to do it, I don't want to waste time on this shit. You could barely find it because I think it's new. Chad, no matter what they say about me, I'm a good guy, man. I'm a good guy. Okay, it's kind of getting there. It's kind of getting there. All right, just get him to 500. Like, Jesus Christ, Chad. Oh, man. Anyway, while that happens, by the way, if you're trying to figure out how to find it, I'll tell you how to find it. See, Ebro, while y'all have said that niggas like me should be out of hip-hop, I'm trying to throw you an olive branch. But that will never, what 6ix9ine say? They're going to skip this part. They're going to skip this part. You see all them niggas that you be on Twitter with, tweeting bad about me and they be retweeting you? Just remember, when I found this shit, it was 400 people that even gave a fuck about what the fuck you was doing. Let me keep playing this.
We'll get into it. You know what I'm saying? Shayla! But yeah, people that I've worked with for a long time, man.
Damn.
They know who I am. They know what I stand for.
When niggas start saying shit like that, people know my heart. They know what I stand for. They know what I've done. Cry me a river, nigga.
Communities that listen and have supported us. They know, y'all know how I rock. Y'all know what type of shit I...
Yeah, I know how you rock. Slapfest. That's the legacy.
I pop. So, yeah. But I told you, listen, if you listen to Ebro in the morning, I told y'all they was hunting.
Every time he says that, it makes me so enraged. He wants credit for predicting his demise, except he's not. He what I would want to know, if you knew this was coming, what were your moves? And what was your plan?
Told you they was hunting. And we gonna keep talking shit.
Oh, man.
I told y'all they was hunting. Pat Rob. You know?
Damn.
But this shit is about that. So, buckle up. Because we're going to get active. Enjoy your holidays. You know what I'm saying?
Hitman says, Drake said the best. I'll get you 15 years later, like procrastination.
Enjoy your holiday. Happy holidays. Let's get active. Don't fall for the bullshit, man. Work hard. Put yourself in position so the bullshit come every generation. Every generation. Think about it. All throughout the years, man. All throughout the years. The bullshit always come. Why I gotta open the roof? It's cold outside, man. It's mad cold, bro. More to come.
Damn. This is a sad tale, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, chat. Another thing too, as I'm telling creators. The cold thing about this, and by the way, chat, yeah, I could tell you, y'all ain't gonna do it. Y'all don't want to do that shit. All right, we got him 24. We got him 24 subscribers. It's all good. That's it. That's 24 more than he ever gave us. Fuck it. We're good. Chat. I'll tell you the interesting thing. While arguing or while he was, shitting on me online about me having platforms that are online, him and Ebro said there's no true ownership. It's like your act is acting like he owns his shit, but you can't own your shit because you're on YouTube. YouTube owns your shit. The irony of that even being said is that when you type in Ebro in the morning, is there another show? Oh, shit. Okay. Here's the thing. Not only this channel, but also the Hot 97 channel. So they put up full episodes on a Ebro in the Morning Hot 97 channel. And also the actual Hot 97. I guess they put up interviews here. And little segments. MediaCo owns these. So all the subscribers that maybe you guys have helped cultivate over the years, those people, you don't even get to get the data. They're not going to put up a video to say, hey, go subscribe to his channel. They keep their channels, and the Ebro in the Morning channel that Hot 97 owns, they're just going to terminate it. You got to start from scratch. And I think, whatever, man. I don't really want to just keep piling on and kicking these guys backs in, but just don't be like Ebro, man. And I ain't gonna lie to you, honestly, most creators aren't like Ebro. Like, the media personality or like broadcaster guy like Ebro, like they're dying out. Like they're like out of here, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, niggas ain't like that no more. Like, most people are realizing that we're all hustling, we're grinding, we're trying to build, these platforms. And whether you've been in it like me for 15 years or whether you're starting on year one, we're all starting to realize, like, it's beneficial if you just build your own audience, right? Shit, you hear Joe talk about it all the time, running somewhere to take a check, right? Oftentimes when you leave with everything, you get no data. You get nothing. They keep the channel that you built. So it is what it is. I do want to also as I'm circling the wagon here, shout out to Drake, who liked this. Drake liked our version of Grok Grand. He liked his page when he posted "Cancer to the Culture." Ebro and Rosencook. They've both been fired from Hot 97. Okay?
Nice life, money, and a bright light. Saying as bad as
Drake been waiting for this day. And I ain't gonna lie, the whole OVO, They're having a blast with it, chat. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, this has been one of the biggest. It's like finally seeing your biggest hater. One of your biggest hater, bro. Like, these niggas right here, yo, it's been bad. It's been like a bad few months for the niggas who have been. Look at Boy Wonder. You know, come on. He says big, if true. Boy Wonder's like, get him out of here. Drake is liking this shit. It's like, yeah, get these niggas out of here. Then we seen what happened with this other show. They're all getting packed up, chat. What's it called? The Bigger Picture. Yeah, this shit don't even come up. All right. Yeah, that shit got canceled. Then what else happens? Then there's another hater met his demise. This nigga is a notorious hater. Notorious. Like, notorious. You feel me? You look back at, ironically, you know what people said? He wrote like a hit piece on Nicki Minaj recently. And they said, right on Nicki's birthday, they showed that nigga to the door. They showed that nigga to the door. He works for Rolling Stones, people. You know what he's doing now? He has a GoFundMe talking about, yo, I lost my job. Could you just pay me? No, nigga. No. Go find another job. Like, what the hell? Yo, since when niggas lose their job and just, like, make a GoFundMe? Like, yo, that sounds like a good gig. Yo, I got fired. Just pay me just to feel good. Last week, after 3 years at Rolling Stone, I was unexpectedly laid off. Yeah. I keep telling you, the times are changing. It is no longer profitable to be a one-trick pony that only hates on a particular artist. You spending all your free times looking through thesauruses, looking through all type of dictionary.com to write a bullshit article slandering Big Ack, Nicki Minaj, Drizzy Drake. Yeah, your time is up. Hit the door. It's no longer profitable if you don't have any other talent to entertain, to galvanize the culture beyond your hate. The Bigger Picture should have been called The Biggest Haters. Let's keep it a beam. When their hate of Drake was no longer viable, they got shown to the door. Y'all got to go now. No. No more. No, you got to go. Bye. Hey, Jeremy, we might deport you. Get out of here. Yes. Leave. Ebro, you have hated on what the majority of people like because you don't like it. Because you can't get an interview or whatever your gripe is. Hate is not being subsidized anymore by these companies who are looking for results. Now, you could be a hater, but you got to make sure your hating is bringing in them coins. And right now, niggas is tired of the hate. Bigger Picture got clapped up. The Rolling Stone writer who be writing all the hit pieces versus your favorites, clapped up. Ebro's outside looking like he's finna drive Uber or Lyft. Clapped up. Let's take a shot. Let's take a shot, man. Let's fucking take a shot, man. Oh, wow. Remember they say I ain't shit? Look up, we got 15,400 people up in here. We cool in chat. I love y'all. Chat, as the future goes on, may we take their demise as a lesson. One, to adapt. One, to grow. One, to realize you ain't bigger than the program. And for me, it's nothing bigger than the chat. Raise your glass. I don't care if it's some water. I don't care what it is. You know, and honestly, for anybody, I'm not mean-spirited. I really don't wish bad for people. But I do understand why all of them lost their positions or whatever. Most of them were some untalented hacks that literally basked in hate and trying to talk down on other people who, for the most part, really worked hard to get a real audience or fan base. And what that does when you don't have, you see, most of these people, I want to be honest with y'all, chat. Like, you know, I'm not even, well, call it whatever you want. Like, the bigger picture, they never had an audience. I always say, like, we went through a year of hate. People thought they had audiences because, like, for example, right? Like, Mano put some shit up against me. It's mad people that hate me. It looks like it's super viral. The moment he doesn't post about me, nobody's there. That's what's happening to the haters. When everyone was saying, no, hate on Drake, kick his back in, they were looking at numbers and say, oh my God, we're popping. We're lit. We're lit. But as soon as the hate subsided or they had to do something else, they realized they didn't build an audience or a fan base. And that's the problem. So all of these things are inevitable. It was inevitable. So let's just take a shot. Ebro, bigger picture, Andre G. Hopefully I got Wi-Fi wherever y'all at. Cheers. Rest in peace, bozos. That was a good one, man. That was a good one. We're going to go on to a Dame Dash topic momentarily. Dame Dash and 50. But it is my job, as I thought it was their job, to give words of encouragement. Like I've gotten words of encouragement. If you wonder why me, Vlad, Adam, we get along, because we share information. We watch each other make mistakes and we learn from it. But we realize we're in a very changed and malleable business. And thus it becomes incumbent on me to speak to future generations and future people who are content creators, because it won't stop with me. I always said that. There's this idea, and this is where I speak to the Twitter people. There's this idea that academics is like this thing that doesn't represent what y'all like. But I've always said it. I said it from the Warren Shot Rack. I said it from everything. I said, y'all think that if I don't do this anymore, that it stops. Chat, there's more content that's way more integral than Warren Shot Rack ever was. Documentaries people are doing now. It was never going to stop with me. This is a wave that never stops. New media was never going to stop. So from me, and I'm not saying I inspired every single one of these guys, but I did help kind of, usher it in. And of course I take a lot of arrows, but you're going to get the Flacos, you're going to get the Setting Ashes, you're going to get all of these creators, right? And I think my job is to encourage, not hate, try to give advice, and also be open to possibly they let me know some new information as I grow older to say, hey, Unc. I can't wait to be Unc. I think I'm Big Bro still. Am I Big Bro or Unc? I think Big Bro, whatever. I can't wait to be Unc though, where they could be like, yo, hey, things are changing. You should change like this to get with the times. And I hope I'll be humble enough to say, oh, thanks for that information. Let me switch a few things up. Wait, how do you do this? Okay, thanks for helping me. Rather than saying, this is my shit, and I pick what goes, and fuck what y'all think going on. Because if that's the attitude, one day I'll be doing a video like Ebro, but I plan not to, because I plan to listen and I plan to learn. Okay. For the people on Twitter, for everything y'all say about me, why don't y'all be supporting these niggas, man? All right, enough is enough, right? By the way, brother, Mr. G, I see you work over there at Rolling Stone. Matter of fact, this is the last thing. I got job offers for all of y'all. I don't know if y'all are interested, but y'all seem to like having a boss, but thinking you're the boss. It's cool. You can work for me, but thinking you're running the show. Here's the jobs I got for y'all. Mr. G, I seen you have only raised in like a week or so $5,680. The average rent is close to $4,000 in New York City. Basically, after a month, you'll be homeless. All right. You need to get a job instantly. I don't think the donation is going to cut it. I have a job offer for you. Okay? Competitive wages. I've heard what Rolling Stone pays. Not that well. I heard they were paying you, what was it, like five a month? Which was probably overpaying you, but it's all good. I'll offer you $6,000 a month to write your little bullshit articles, except you're going to have to do what the boss tells you to do. I'm not really into websites. It's kind of antiquated, but I do need Instagram captions and Instagram, researched stories. You know what I mean? I want to get what was it called? A 131? When you do the paragraphs or whatever? Yeah. But I want you to do some investigative journalism. By the way, this is a real job offer. And by the way, if you want to come back with a counter, I'll probably meet whatever you want or exceed it. Here's the only caveat, though. When I pay you, I'm going to require only 10 articles a month. Only 10. But the articles will be only centered around Rock Nation and Desiree Perez. We're gonna investigate that cabal. It seems like you're a great investigator. Because when it's time for you to write hit pieces on everybody else, it seems like you come up with some bullshit. So great. I'll hire you, buddy. I got you. Come on in. You'll get on the team. But I need you to cook up and do some great investigative journalism and writing for the Academy. Desiree Perez in Rock Nation. 10 articles a month. 6,000. I'll start there. We can negotiate. Fair guy. Emails in the bio. Better than no job, right? Actually, that's the only job I'm giving out. Yeah. Jeremy or whatever from Bigger Picture, I would hire you, but it's cold. Pool time ain't there. And Rory, that's his job. And DJ Head, I have no position for a male dick sucker. So there's no job that I'm like, we need a man who constantly sucks penis all day. Nah, there's no job I'm hired for like that. I don't know what the fuck. Yeah, we don't have no job opening that would require your talents, brother. Let me see who else. Rosencuck. I can't even think of a job that we would hire you for neither. Actually, I do. Since now you're at WWE, I wouldn't want your opinion on any type of hip hop. I would hire you to commentate baddies fights. When on Zeus they like I want you to commentate that. Maybe and I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm only paying you $3 a month. Like, bro, I can't pay you too much for that, bro. Come on now, come on, bro. Come on. Still trying to figure out what Ebro would be able to do. I might hire Ebro for some beard consultation, right? Some beard consult. Maybe that. Because I sure don't want to hear him talking about boom bap hip hop. And come on, bro. Come on. No. I don't know why. I really don't see the use of these niggas, man. But, if they need employment, I just want to say, if they require employment, Akademiks, I try to help people out.